Hey family, welcome. Happy Monday. Darlene A. Anderson here, entrepreneur, personal and professional development consultant, author of Not Without a Fight, 10 Ways to Win When It Appears You've Already Lost, and your social media friend. Welcome. If you landed on this video, well, thank you very much for joining us. I ask that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share accordingly with your networks. And please click that notification bell so you will be in the know of the latest happenings as they are happening. Okay, we're gonna dive right into it. Last week we were talking about criticism from the perspective of constructive criticism, right? That's generally good criticism that comes from someone that really cares about us. It can be personally or professionally. I shared a personal story for you, and I invite you to go back and listen to that if you haven't already. I don't want to spoil it for you, but I enjoy sharing, and I hope you guys appreciate it just the same. All right, this week we're talking about negative criticism. All right, strictly negative, personally and professionally. And what do we do with that? Well, I'm just gonna get to the end of the video and say what we do with it, and then we're gonna do a little bit in between. Nothing. It's not for us, it's for them. Negative criticism by way of naysayers, haters, as somebody would say, whatever it is, it's not meant for you. Generally, hurt people. They project on you how they feel about themselves. And in some cases, it's not even negative. Like there are a lot of people that will say negative things about you, but they really admire you. And they don't know how to say that they admire you, and they can't do what you do. So what they do is they hate. And it comes out like just mean and nasty things because, again, they can't do what you do. And you know what you do with that? The same thing you do with everything else. Nothing. It's not for you to call it out. It's for you to just keep it moving and focus and know who you are inside and out. That's the biggest takeaway. If you know who you are inside and out, it really doesn't matter. And depending on where you're at in the world, stages of development can help with that. Of course, I can't say this to a 5 or 6 year old, or maybe even a 12, 13, 14-year-old, because they haven't gone through life experiences the way maybe we have as adults, where we can say sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me, right? So they have to go through those developmental stages to really understand. But we try to empower them at young ages. So when they get to our age, when they get to where we're at, it's like, oh, you can keep that over there. I know what I have to do. But it's hard, right? Because negative criticism can come in all shapes, forms, and sizes. It can come when you're just feeling on cloud 9, you're happy about yourself, where you are in the world, you're focused, you're on your assignment, and bang, there's that comment. What do you do with it? I'm going to share with you guys an experience that I had. I love this story, right? I'm going to share an experience that I had a little earlier on in my field of entrepreneurship. I had gotten contract with an amazing company, Simply to Empower, with 2 amazing souls, Kathy and Sharice. Sharice has gone to glory. May she rest in peace. Kathy and Sharice had contracted me for around 4 or so monthly events. And this is their business where they brought people together out in Queens, New York, and they did these entrepreneurial conferences, and they had amazing guest speakers and people networked, and they shared accordingly, and they gave great tools of advancement professionally, but then there were also a lot of great references for personal development. And I remember my first gig, I had gotten contracted to do through a dear friend of mine's, and I came, and that day she was like, you look so pretty, your energy is good, you look good, you're professional. You couldn't tell me anything. I was like, hair done. I had on my girlfriend. It was a curly one. It was like blowing. I remember getting off the train and walking to the venue, and I was like, oh, my girlfriend is just blowing in the air. And I had on my high boots, and I just was feeling good about myself. Nice sheer top, nice skirt. I just was like, good, right? And I get there, and one of the things I had to do was work the floor, speak to the vendors that were in the space, as well as the participants, and prepare to introduce the guest speaker, who happened to be an amazing mentor of mine to this day, a dear friend. I love her so very much. I remember stating, oh wow, this person's gonna be here. Let me prepare and make sure I'm just on point. So I share all of this. I set this up to say I felt really good about myself. So I worked the floor, I'm speaking to everyone, and I remember this one particular vendor that was just asking me a lot of questions and just really trying to get a sense of who I was. And I wasn't sure why, but I went along with it. You know, we're being social, right? And I remember when it was time for everyone to come together, she comes over to me and she goes, you know, I think you're amazing. I really like you. I think you have a good energy too. Can you do me a favor? I think you should go in the bathroom and put on this garment. Do you mind being my model? This garment, this body magic, it would help to keep your posture in, and then I can talk about the difference between before and after using you as my muse. Family, I stood there. Now, if you don't know what a body magic is, it's a corset. It's like a whole thing. And not to say that I don't support body magic. I'm a female, we do. But that's my choice. And there was nothing wrong with what I had on. If it was, my friends that I had in this space would 100% said, girl, you need to go on here in the back and take care of yourself. No one said anything. So in that moment, I remember when she told me, like, my confidence was just trying to leave my body. It was oozing out. And I remember getting hot and my underarms sweating. And I'm just like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Do I look like that big? Oh my God, can anybody see what's wrong with me? Like, I remember just like it was a cartoon going off in my head. You know, the little cartoons, the little arrows and everything and the bombs. I'm just feeling it. And I remember like stating in that same moment to myself, get it together. And I looked at her and I really assessed what was in front of me. And we talk about this a lot, or I have in prior videos. You have to assess what's in front of you when you're working with somebody as a collective. But the other part of it is, who is saying this to me? Why are they saying this to me? And I looked at her and I said, wow, look at her. And it's not to say that it was anything wrong with her to that degree, because she's my sister. But my sister wasn't even modeling what she wanted me to model. My sister wasn't as professional as she expected everyone else in that space to be. My sister had some things about her that she was projecting onto me. And in that moment, I would not receive that. So I told her, if you need a model for your body magic, go in the bathroom and put it on yourself. And I smiled and I walked away from her and I continued onto that stage to do what I was contracted to do. And I had a great time, might I add. I share that story with you guys because it could have had a different outcome. I could have been so self-conscious about myself. I could have gone on that stage and not bring the same energy that I came into the space with. And sometimes that's what it's about. It's about literally releasing you, relinquishing you of all of the positiveness that you have so you can feel the way that they feel. And I wasn't here for it. I wasn't there for it. So I say that to say, when you're presented with negative criticism, always know it's not about you, it's about them. And you have to remain on track. I'm going to take it a step further and say sometimes it's not even about us. It's about the assignment. Because there are times where I show up places and I'm not feeling my best. I may not be looking my best. I may not be speaking my best. But that has nothing to do about what I'm being called to do. And outside of that, no one is going to get into my mind to the degree where I don't carry out my assignment. That is even myself. Sometimes we have to fight our own inner selves to get the job done because it's not about us. And I'm going to take it a step further. How many times have you heard somebody say, I couldn't do it because I didn't have the clothes. I couldn't do it because my hair wasn't done. I couldn't do it because I don't like the way I look on film. Whatever it is, I couldn't go because I wasn't sure that I would be able to say or do what everybody else did. Be you. That's all you have to do is be you. And when you are you and you know what you're called to do, it doesn't matter externally what anybody says or how anybody feels. It's about what you're called to do. If you made it this far, I thank you so very much. Again, I ask that you like, share, and subscribe accordingly. And I'll check you guys back out here later on this week. Be well.